Hey everybody, welcome back to The Stuff of Legend. My name is D-Lo and I have another video for you guys. So today I'm going to be talking about the MCU X-Men fan casting video number 2 for Jean Grey, Marvel Girl. Okay, so I'm talking about this one very specifically. Last time I made a video about Scott Summers' Cyclops and I had my top picks for that. For this one I'm going to have some other picks. I'm going to have about 5. I'm going to have 5 for each of my character picks for my TV show. But also, I'll have a bonus one for you at the end, so stick around for that. So right now, I'm going to get into the meat of what I'm going to be talking about. So if you guys hadn't seen the video I made about the X-Men TV show, it was actually a pilot pitch, and I have not written out I haven't presented the video for the entire TV show, the overarching plot for the first season, what my plans are for that, but I wanted to at least just get into just the characters, what the characters were going to be like. And so to do that, I wanted to show you guys my picks. I still haven't quite decided whether or not I want it to be something that's still in high school or they are coming out of high school, kind of like the X-Men Evolution first season, where they're some of them are in their senior year, some of them are still sophomores or juniors, and they're kind of graduating up into this thing. The actors I picked are relatively older, and I don't believe any of these guys are in high school. However, there have been plenty of TV shows and movies that have cast older individuals that look relatively young, probably still in the age range for college, but they're playing high schoolers. We could still operate in that same spirit. I'm actually on... For those of you guys who are tuning in right now on different platforms, I'm on my YouTube and my Instagram right now, so I'm having a lot of fun with you guys. But let's just jump right into this thing. So I have a couple of things I wanted to bring up right here. The MCU TV show fan casting for X-Men number 2 video. Let's kick this thing off, all right? So my first pick for Jean Grey is going to be Amber Heard, okay? So for those of you guys who are not already familiar, Amber Heard is currently playing Mera in Aquaman. She's also known for her roles in, I think it's called The Rum Diary, and also Machete Kills and 3 Days to Kill. So she's a well-known actress. She was in Magic Mike XXL. She was in Justice League. She made a cameo there. There was a lot of different things she's played. Right now, she is tied up doing superhero roles for what's it called, the Aquaman movie. But let's go ahead and switch over here. So this is the Jean Grey that I'm talking about, right? So I'm talking about Jean Grey from the comics, the very first female mutant in the X-Men world that was represented in the comics. First 5 X-Men is who I'm basically casting, plus a couple others who I'll get to in a later video. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this right here. I'm going to say Amber Heard, red hair. I wanted to show you guys this really quick. So obviously a bunch of these pictures from Aquaman are going to be popping up. But as you can see, she does look very nice as a redhead, and it seems to work really well. But a lot of people online have fan cast her to play Jean Grey. And she has that type of character, at least from the trailers in this one and what I've seen in, say, like Machete Kills or The Rum Diary or the other clips that I've seen. I haven't seen Machete Kills, but I've seen clips and trailers, and her character always seems to have, there is some emotional intensity that she can gather as an actress, which would be important if you're going to play Jean Grey. But the Jean I'm going to be dealing with in my TV show is much younger, and so is going to be probably between 18 and 23, I would say. And Amber Heard is actually currently, let me see, where did this go? Amber Heard is currently... How old is Amber Heard? Let's find out. She is 32 years old. So she is about 10 years older than I'm aiming for, but she looks very young. And so she could pull that off. She probably wouldn't pull off 18 very well, but she could pull off 24-ish. And so that, I think, could work really nicely. So I think she's my first pick. So what I wanted to do then was go ahead. I don't believe there was any. Let me see if there's a fan casting. Amber Heard, Jean Grey. I think this one right here. Yeah. So someone had already done an art here. It just says on Flickr, so I'm not going to backtrace the source, but somebody already did this art for us so that we could see that. I think it works. Visually, it works, and I know that as an actress, she has that kind of sweet lover kind of spirit that she, especially in the trailers with Aquaman, you can see that she gets along really well. Obviously, she's playing kind of like a BA. She's playing the tough chick. She's a warrior. But I think that she's also going to be that wifey kind of queen material for Aquaman. And so I think that's going to be really cool to see on screen. I cannot wait for that movie to come out. I think that's next week. And so, that was my first pick. Let's move on to the next one, okay? So the next one we've got here is Katie Cassidy. So some of you guys might give me some flack for this. But what I wanted to do was, let me see if I can pull up something here. Katie Cassidy. I wanted to see if I could, I had an art piece saved. Let me see if I can go in here. I had been playing around with some art. I wanted to see if I can maybe throw it up on the screen. If it'll open at any time soon. I'm live streaming right now, so it's using up a lot of my computing power. But let's see. I wanted to show you guys Katie Cassidy. So Katie Cassidy, you guys will know her from Arrow. Okay? So on Arrow, she plays Laurel Lance, or Dinah Lance. Actually, she plays Laurel Dinah Lance the way that they wrote the story, but anyway, most people would be like, I don't really see what you're trying to portray here, Daniel. But I'm going to go ahead and open up a new one. You guys can see I was working on a piece of art right here. But I'm going to go ahead and open up. Oh, wait, actually, forget that. Let's just go right here. Boom. So you guys see this? So this is a piece of art that I did of her looking like X-Men Evolution's Jean Grey. So thankfully it pulled up. It took a little bit of time, but I got it here. I did this Photoshop myself. So this fan art was something I did. But you can see the similarities here, right? I mean, it's pretty striking, the resemblance that she has to Jean Grey. And when I first approached my wife about this, I normally run my thoughts through my wife before I put them into these videos. She was like, no, wait. She doesn't like that actress. And she was on not only Arrow, but due to the crossover, she's been on, I think, Supergirl now. And I forget which other. I think she was also technically in DC Legends of Tomorrow. I think she was on there for like one episode. Or no, it was the crossovers. I think it was. But she was in Nightmare on Elm Street. She was in Click. She was in When a Stranger Calls. She has a big resume as well. But I think, it's something that I can totally see her playing. She can play the Jean Grey to a Scott Summers. When the way that she was with Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen on Arrow in the first season, there was a very powerful back and forth between we're together, we're not together, we're together, we're not together, I love you, I don't love you, it was a big soap opera of a drama, but I would say it was a lot better than a soap. And it was really good. It was a lot of fun, but she has a wide range of emotional ability as an actress. So I think it would be good to see her there. So I'm going to go ahead and close this now. I'm going to go ahead and close my Photoshop so you guys can get back here. But let me see if I can show you guys this in a natural. So this is Katie Cassidy with red hair. You can see she's got much more of a natural red tint. She hasn't gone like hard red very often, but whatever. You don't have to play Jean. Obviously, I would like that, but that's fine. So I think Katie Cassidy's my second pick. And in addition to that, she's also the same age as Amber Heard. She's 32 years old, and she looks very young as well. So she could play a very good Jean Grey, in my opinion. Let me know down below if you guys agree or disagree. So let's go ahead and go down to the next one on the list. So the next person I have on the list is Catherine McNamara. So she is, you guys will probably know from a couple of things I'm going to go ahead and list right now, but she is, I think, the youngest person on my list. She's actually 23 years of age. And with Kat, she has a pretty impressive resume. She's on The Maze Runner, The Death Cure, Maze Runner Scorch Trials. She was on New Year's Eve, and she was also on Shadowhunters. And she's got a massive... She was also on Arrow for a minute. She was played a character Maya. And she's very, very talented. Some people only really know her from the Shadowhunters, the Mortal Instruments TV series, which is it's very teen angst, teen drama. And so if you're not into that kind of writing, you might mistake the writing in the script for bad acting, but she's a talented actress. And if that's all you've seen her in is Shadowhunters, you'll probably not have a lot of respect for her. But if you see her in some of these other projects, you know that she's a talented actress, and it's just about script and writing. So go check out some of her other work if that's all you know her from. But she's very talented. She's very young, and she's a natural. I think she's a natural redhead. I think it's possible she's blonde. But either way, she pulls off the red hair look very, very nicely. And she would play a very good Jean Grey as well. Again, I picked everybody on this list because they're very talented emotional actresses. And I think that's very important. You have to be able to have that. That's something that is critically important if you're going to play the love interest to Cyclops, if you're going to play the heart of Team X-Men, right? So that's something that I was just looking at, and I think that she fits the bill. She's my third pick. So now let's go ahead and dive in. Actually, let's just take a look and see if there's a Jean Grey fan art. I don't know that there is. I don't think so, and I didn't get a chance to make one before we got started. So, so far I have not found one. It's probably on Instagram. I know I have a bunch of buddies. Like James the Butte I forgot what it is. James the Butte Casting Lion or something like that. He's a savage, and he has done plenty of these fan casts for younger X-Men teams as well. And I'm not sure if I had been inspired by his channel or if it was someone else's, perhaps Mr. Funcaster on Instagram or another. But these guys out there are doing great work, and I must have seen this somewhere, unless I had come up with this in my own head and I just forgot. So she is my third pick, Kat McNamara. And she was also on the podcast Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, which is hilarious. It's funny. There is cussing, so if you guys are, like my channel is predominantly rated PG, sometimes PG-13 perhaps, but for the most part, my content is very clean. So even though I don't advocate it for younger audiences, however, if you're over 18, check them out. It's pretty sick. And so again, my next option here is 31 years of age, and every woman under the sun knows this woman's name. My next option is Blake Lively. And so this one, she's the wife of Ryan Reynolds, for those of you dudes out there who may not have already found out about this chick. But if you take a look at her face, it screams two things. One, she looks just like the girl from Supergirl. And two, like this picture particularly, she looks just like Melissa Benoist. But as well, she's very very lovely. She has let me see, what is her IMDb? I have not seen a lot of stuff of hers, if I'm being honest, but my wife certainly has. And she was in Gossip Girl. She was in The Shallows. She was in Simple Favor. She was in, let me see. She was in Green Lantern. That's actually how her and Ryan Reynolds met. She was on the set of Green Lantern. She was playing Carol Ferris, the love interest to Green Lantern, and Hal Jordan. And that's how her and Ryan Reynolds met. They got married shortly thereafter. They have kids now. And it's just insane how two magical people like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively can get together like that. But it's pretty sweet. And yeah, she's my wife's favorite actress of all time. And I picked her not because of that, but honestly because I wanted to show you this. So take a look at this. So with red hair, especially like this one, she looks very much like Jean Grey. Oops, mistyped that. I don't think there's a lot of fan art here. It just calls back to Sophie Turner's Jean Grey. But even still, if you take a look at just her in red hair, it's absolutely amazing. Watch this. Red hair. I don't know about you guys. I can see Jean Grey all over this one. And she is one of the most, if not the most, talented emotional actresses of all time and most lovable. If you ask, go do this right now. Text one of the females in your lives, either a sister, mother, cousin, whatever, friend, your girlfriend, your wife, whatever, does not matter. You ask them, hey, do you know who Blake Lively is? And see what their response is. Most chicks, it'll be yes, of course I do. Oh my gosh, she's amazing, or just something to that effect, because she's like America's heartthrob right now. And so she would be perfect for that. And again, she is only 31 years old, and she looks very young. So she could pull off a Jean Grey very nicely, and I think she would probably be the most well-received actress for the role anyway. So there, that is my number 4 pick. So let's go ahead and jump to my next pick. So my next pick is going to be Amanda Rigetti. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that part. Perfect. Okay, so you guys might not remember this gal, okay? This gal was in Captain America, the First Avenger. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull up her IMDb. Her IMDb shows that she was in Captain America, the First Avenger. If you don't remember who she was the girl. So remember when Captain America got rescued from the ice, okay? So Captain America got rescued from the snow. And he wakes up in a hospital bed in New York City. And he hears this old-timey radio playing this baseball game. And it's like, you know, so-and-so hit the ball. And then he's running around the bases. And then blah, 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 blah. So he's hearing that on the radio. And he's super confused. He's looking back and forth to the radio. And then this chick walks in who's an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in disguise. So she looks like this old-style nurse from the 1940s. And she says, hello, Captain Rogers, you know, and it's just, she's trying to play it off normal. Cap wakes up and he's like, where am I? You know, like, and then she's like, you're in the hospital or whatever. And he's like, where am I really? And she's like, I don't understand. And he's like, the game. He's like, I was there that night. You know, it played out this way. And she's all, we have a problem or whatever, you know, and she calls it in. She was that nurse. So she played that character. And I think that the MCU could stand to recast her and put her in the role of Jean Grey. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys Amanda Rigetti red hair. So don't tell me you can't see it. Especially like this image here, this one here. You know, like there's, let me see, where did it go? I could even see it in this one, honestly. She's got a very likable smile, and more than that, she's also a talented actress. She was in Friday the 13th, The Mentalist. Let me see if there's other ones that I see. Chicago PD is a TV series she was on. She was also in, let me see, where did it go? Scarface, The World Is Yours, the video game. So she was a voice actress there. She's very talented. The OC. She was also on CSI Crime Scene Investigation. And, you know, she's had a lot of TV roles, but she's had a number of film roles as well. And I think that her role in Captain America was so small, so limited, that they could stand to just reapply her in a new role, nobody would remember, honestly. It'd be the same thing as how Marvel recast Kenneth Choi, the Asian actor, to play a second role as well. So Kenneth Choi played Principal Morita, and he played Jim Morita in the Howling Commandos in Captain America as well. So in the same movie, in Captain America, the First Avenger, when Captain America goes out with those 5 guys, the guys with the mustache, the Asian guy, that Asian guy that was with him in the Howling Commandos also reprised another role in the MCU about 15 movies later or something like that in Spider-Man Homecoming as Tom Holland's principal. So as Spider-Man's principal, he plays his own grandson. He plays the grandson of Jim Morita, which is crazy. It's pretty cool. In the same spirit, you could do the same exact thing with this actress. It was the same movie that they picked that actor who had way more lines and way more screen time than she did. She had basically a cameo, right? Like, it was like she had exactly, I think it was 2-3 lines max in that last minute interaction with Captain America right before he bursts out of the hospital, or the fake hospital studio room in SHIELD headquarters in the middle of New York City. She had less screen time and less lines than Jim Morita did in either Homecoming or in Captain America, the First Avenger. And so they could stand a recast with her as well. So she is, I think, the oldest person on my list at 35 years old. However, she does look pretty young. And if the cast for the rest of the crew, like for Scott Summers and for the rest of the team, if they're going to be a little bit older, then you could stand to cast her as well. She looks very youthful, and it wouldn't be the end of the world to cast her in that role as well, if you're going to go a little bit older. So if we're going to pretend they're like 25, 28, that age range, she would fit perfectly in that range. So yeah, that's my take on that. That was a little bit more talking than I planned to do for any one character, but let's keep moving. So she is my number 5, right? So that completes my top 5 picks. But I have a bonus for you guys, okay? So I have a bonus, and this one, Jane Levy, okay? So she's younger. I believe she is 28 years old. She is, she's done some I think horror. She's done Don't Breathe. She's also done a movie called Suburgatory I have not seen. I have not seen her in very much, but she looks the part. I saw her on a fan cast online. Here. Check that out. So that's just a simple art where they overlaid her face and merged it. That's not her right there. But let's see. That's her. This is her. It's pretty cool. I mean, she looks very, very young. If we wanted to go like in high school, even though this actress is she's actually 28 years old, she looks like she's probably like 18, 17. She could play that type of a youthful role. Like she has that look. And so even though I think out of all the other actresses, I think I've seen her in the least amount of things, she's probably the number 1 pick if you're going to go youngest, in my opinion, just based on looks entirely. So for her, it's looks entirely, but I think that it could work very nicely, especially if you're going to go with this type of a look. She's got that she's got that face. Even though this one's a little bit of an odd edit. She rocks the red hair pretty nicely. So those are my picks for Jean Grey. And obviously the qualifiers that I would be looking for here are going to be something like, lovable, likable, a nice smile, not super flirty. I don't want this actress who's going to be Jean Grey I don't want it to be kind of like the Famke thing where it's constantly back and forth between Wolverine and Cyclops. I want this actress to really convey a dedication, like this is my man, I want to hold that out as long as possible because that's what's going to give bearing to when she starts to deviate because of the Phoenix Force coming on her, like the host. You know, she's the host of this new spirit type of thing. You know, she was a good girl in the comics. She wasn't this like, you know, like rebel, like, oh, you know, burning with lust for the rugged dude. Cyclops was the rugged dude. He's not a rule breaker, but he's a man's man, and he's tough, and he's not, you know, they really made James Marsden's character feel really weak and just like a kind of like a sissy. He was the Boy Scout, which even though he does need to be a Boy Scout, he's got to be a rugged like man's man. He's basically got to be military. He's got to feel like a United States Marine, right? Whereas they made Logan feel like this like rugged, you know, cowboy who keeps getting thrown out of bars and stuff, and it's like he's this like broken man, which he should be, but they really pitted Cyclops and Wolverine against each other by making Jean battle between the two of them for their affection and love, which that was not the case in the comics. It was Jean telling Wolverine, yeah, no, sorry, I'm with Cyclops. She feels bad for him in the comics because she helped him heal. And so they really like took a dramatic turn in the movies, which was fine, but it really downplayed who Jean's character is and how much character she had as a person, that she would stick with Cyclops and you know, they got married and they had a kid, and obviously there was complications to that in the comics, but you know, there was a lot of fun, and I want to see that love dynamic between Cyclops and Jean Grey, and because of that, I picked actresses who can really bring not only drama but romance, like really affectionate, sweet, lovable. Bring that to the table, and I picked a varying age range, anywhere from 23 to 35 was the age range that I had picked here. There was a few other names on my list, but it wasn't, you know, they were much older. Probably they were already in their 40s, and I didn't want to go there. And there's a number of younger actresses that were under 18 that are you know, like Disney Channel or whatever it might be, but I wanted someone that I could really count on, you know what I mean? And so these were some of the names that just came to my mind, but I'm really grateful to have you know, the X-Men movies and shows that we have had up till now. There is plenty of Jean Grey leading up to this. Obviously we have Sophie Turner, we have Famke Janssen. Haley Ram was the young Jean Grey in X-Men Last Stand. Catherine Disher was the voice of Jean Grey a long time in the TV show, the old TV show, and then Venus Terzo voiced her in X-Men Evolution. So there's been a number of iterations, whether it's live action or animated so far, plenty of them. And lots of them are very great. I've actually quite enjoyed every single Jean Grey so far, but I really want to get back to that emotionally sound, strong, connected Jean Grey, who she wrestles with her powers, but that shouldn't directly get straight into the Phoenix Force. That's something that should be dragged out for a very, very long time. Not 3 movies. That should be something that we probably won't even have to talk about for a very long time. There's so many other stories within X-Men that I would like to see explored, that are long-form storytelling, every single one of them. And just the sheer amount of character introductions that bring stories along with them, just to get to some of those bigger plot points, it would be a shame to skip out on some of those. So that's my pick right there. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, make sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about my picks. How do they rank for you? And did you guys have other actresses you would like to see play Jean Grey? Should Marvel reboot once the rights are totally solidified at the end of this month or the beginning of next month, whenever that is. They haven't specified when the date is. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I really appreciate your guys' support, and if you guys want to take part in these live streams, make sure to turn on the notification bell. That way you can be alerted right away next time when I go live. That way you don't miss a thing, okay? So, that being said, you guys rock. Thank you guys so much. My first year of video making is about to come to a close. I probably will make, I don't know, somewhere in the realm of 5, maybe 10 videos before the end of the month if I'm able. And I really appreciate you guys. I've far superseded my promise of one video every single week. I've already doubled that number. And it's such a pleasure to be able to do this with you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming on board and commenting and engaging with me. I love that. So you guys, thank you. Really appreciate it. Again, I wanted to do a quick shout out, special thanks to Ryan from Nerdy Blurb TV, the YouTube channel out here who's making great content. I thank you so much, bro. You've helped me a lot with tips and tricks for editing. And also just the amount of advice and thoughts that we're able to bounce off with one another. I really appreciate you. Thank you also for sending me the Nerdy Blurb TV t-shirt. Really appreciate it, man. It's a great t-shirt. I absolutely love it. And even my wife told me that she really likes that on me. It fits really nicely, and I'm not sure if that's total coincidence or if you guys just make great shirts, but I'm going to lean on you guys making great shirts. So you guys, thank you. Go check Ryan out at Nerdy Blurb TV. Great content there. Also, thank you to Dusty, my man, who's been on the channel before to talk about Star Wars. I'm so grateful for you, man. You've supported me from day one, as well as obviously my wife. But thank you so much for providing me a new lighting setup and a green screen. I'm not using the green screen in this video, but I will in a lot of the other videos and the video I uploaded just before this one. So thank you guys, all of you guys, so much. You guys mean the world to me. You guys have a happy holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, and I'm just looking forward to you guys. I will be making more videos before the end of the month. Stay tuned for those. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Leave comments down below and make sure to talk to me. That's why I'm here. You guys rock. I will see you guys again next time right here on The Stuff of Legend.